comfy today. So I'm sorry for my German appearance, but believe me, I'm a problem, okay?
You're concentrating in German. That's excellent.
Yeah, I'm concentrating in German. I'm so German. Yeah. Making stuff today, and especially I didn't have so much time to talk yesterday about painting and stuff, and so I wanted to introduce you some painting techniques and also some materials, especially for prop making. I mean, shit like this, yeah, and stuff like that. And as you know from yesterday, I don't want to bore you if you get you bored, right? If you have any questions, if you are interested in to build some stuff, yeah, if you want to know anything special, yeah, then just raise your hand at any time. I'm here to help you. I'm here to help you with your future projects, and so just ask me whatever you want anytime. Okay. So to begin, I don't have so much time. 50 minutes, I think. What do you want to know? What do you want to know? What?
Everything.
Everything. What means everything?
How do you manage to keep, like, for instance, the stuff in the middle, the ball, to stay afloat? Without...
Ball? Yes. Okay. That's a pretty short answer. That there is a nylon
wire.
Wire, right.
Fishing line.
Below it on the top there is a little white point. Anything else? How do you make this actual packet? I'm sorry, I have problems with British, I'm sorry. Yes! Transportation of props, yes. Okay, I will explain. What else? Yes?
For like pole arm props, what do you use to like strengthen the bar to make sure it doesn't like snap and bend when you're holding it?
I'm sorry, I didn't understand it. Oh, okay, yes. I'm sorry, my English, I'm sorry. I try my best. It's my second workshop in front of native speakers, so, yeah?
How to make things so that they can break down into several pieces.
Yes. Anything else? What do you want to build? Staffs, armor, not armor, sports, axes, what do you want to build? Any
Spears!
What?
Spear!
Sights.
An oil taper!
Just 1 second. Hello? Unmute. I need to jump, you know? At first, I think I just want to introduce you some amazing material for prop making. For example, do you guys maybe ever work with expanding foam? It's like in cans like this. You can buy it in the Home Depot and just make three-dimensional stuff. Whoever of you worked with expanding foam? Expanding foam is amazing. It's amazing. It opens your world of pure three-dimensionality. It's just super toxic. It can kill you. And you know, it makes you a little bit dizzy and stuff. But it's amazing, you know? Expanding foam is, it's like, where do you have a picture? There is a picture. Yeah, you have a prop you want to do. Yeah, there you have. In English, I think it's called great stuff in the US, right? I mean this stuff. You can find it in your Home Depot. Then you just have a can, then spray it on your prop or somewhere, and then you just carve it with a carpet knife. And yeah, well, you can just shape everything out of it. For example, this stuff here, I mean, right? I finished in the final prop, that's the final prop, I just showed you here. And you see, the base part of this piece is just an expanding foam, which is what? Amazing! Yeah. I'm sorry, I didn't have so much sleep today. Yes, so, and I'm pretty excited. Yeah, but that's, you see, that's basically how you work with expanding foam. I mean, I built the stuff, like you see, it was that big, I think, and you just take a wooden stuff, then you cut the shape or the silhouette of your stuff or whatever you want to do out of cardboard or of wood or anything, something flat, and then you just cover it with expanding foam. And then you can, yeah, well, just carve it directly with a carpet knife. For example, I made a YouTube tutorial where I carved pretty much live, where is it? These pieces, yeah. This is also out of expanding foam. You may not believe me, but it's true. You see, it's expanding foam, just expanding foam, yeah. And that's yeah. Yeah, well, and you see, it's very nice to make any kind of props, yeah, to make stars or, well, for example, daggers and yeah, well, just everything. Just yeah, it's a little bit messy, you know. I mean, if you carve the stuff, it can be a little bit because I mean, you just spray your stuff on and then you carve it and carve it and carve it, and there are around the third piece of this full foam will be your prop in the end, and will be a little bit messy, maybe. Yeah, I mean, my husband says always, when you want to work again with expanding foam, can you just search for different material, please? And I said, no, because it's amazing. Yeah, right. Yeah, well, that doesn't mean it's toxic, you know. And I mean, if you want to work with it, if you especially want to make something bigger, I made ones for a commercial hand. And this hand this is the hand of my husband. Yeah, so it can do really big and lightweight stuff, and that's Benny. Hello, Benny. She's very happy. But you see, I mean, it's pretty lightweight. It's white, round, 3 kilos or something like that, and it's a little bit messy. And the problem is just, well, it's toxic. So if you use the stuff, especially if you spray the stuff, open your windows or yeah, well, be prepared for some illnesses or you know, yeah, well, but really work with a mask or something like that, or at least with an open window or outside. And yeah, well, when you spray the stuff, then just let it dry for around 24 hours or something like that, and then just let the carving fun begin. And you see, I mean, it's not that I just sprayed on, then directly make this the first picture to the 8, the last picture, or just I build it up, because I mean, if you carve some stuff, you are able just to add more expanding foam and then make the final form more complicated and more detailed, more three-dimensional. And yeah, well, even if you make a mistake, for example, if I would just cut off this horn because I cut it too deep or something like that, or it breaks, then you just can add more foam, let it dry again, and just carve it again. And that's a really nice material what I use for a lot of my props. For example, this is also made of expanding foam. And yeah, well, you don't really see this thing because, yeah, well, you see that's how really everything started. Yeah, and there was no expanding foam anymore visible. But yeah, you see, I mean, what I really did is just took the silhouette inside of a video game, it's from World of Warcraft, and then transfer it to some cardboard. I mean, you see, they're very, very cheap materials. You don't need something big, something awesome for a good prop. You just need a little bit of creativity. And you see, I just glued everything together just with very simple hot glue, and then covered everything with expanding foam, and then carved it out with a carved knife, just a sharp knife. And the one thing is, I mean, you see, there are all these holes and everything, and you are not able to paint this directly because it's not clean, you know. And you need to make the surface clean at first, and for that you can use some putty. I don't have any idea what materials you have, what products you have, but for example, you can use paper mache, for example, and just put all the paper mache on the stuff directly. And you will then sand it down, and for this case, to make it also a little bit more solid, I covered it also with some layers of resin to make it more solid. I'm sorry, I wanted to bring this stuff to you. Usually I make workshops with all my props, but I'm a little bit limited with my suitcase, so I have only my pictures, but I hope they work. Yeah, and you see, and then you can just paint it directly. There, just add some paint here. Questions? Questions? No? Okay. Yeah. What do you want to build, by the way? Why are you here? What are your next projects, your next props you have in mind? What do you want to build? Yeah.
I'm at the moment making 2 katanas, but I'm not sure what would be a really good material. I've been looking at various woods, but they've not been good. I'm just wondering if expanding foam would do the job.
Well, if you make something which is already there in the reality, like katanas, there's always a good thing, maybe to search for something cheap, even to search for toys, for example. I was once in a medieval market and bought just these children's swords out of wood, because I'm really able to sand them down, bring it to the form, and add also with expanding foam or other materials, more details and stuff. Then really, I mean, if I have already the base, then why not? Yeah, why not using it? So you can use a toy or something like that. Or I once also made a katana out of stuff like this. It's balsa wood. At Friday I forgot some cosplay repairing stuff, and a cannon, and decken, discovered, yes, and I discovered hobby craft. Oh my god! Oh my god! We don't have this in Germany. I mean, we have big hobby stores, but not like this. And then the hobby craft, they had a big section for balsa wood. I mean, I stand already in front of the balsa wood section and put all the wood up. And then I'm like, oh no, I'm only with a suitcase here, and then put everything away. But I mean, balsa wood is a great material for swords, for daggers, for everything. And what I really did is I took also a piece out of the balsa wood. Where is it? Do I have a better picture of it? No, not really. Yeah, well, but you see, that's just balsa wood, and I really took a carpet knife and also just cut it out the shape out of this balsa wood, and at the end I took a orbital sander and sanded it just a little bit more sharp. Not just super sharp, but maybe to kill somebody, yeah, but sharp. The only thing is, this piece was pretty breakable, because balsa wood, I think it's the most lightweight wooden there are. And so to avoid that this piece breaks, I just took some stripes of Wonder Flax and covered the blade of the balsa wood, because Wonder Flax is a material which has, it's a thermoplastic material, and the advantage of it, it has a fabric grit inside. Yeah? So if you just move the blade, the fabric grit protects really the wood from breaking. That's what I basically really did. I mean, here you see this. The grip is out of wood, which was really directly connected to the blade. I mean, I could like a U in the grip, and then connected both just with hot glue, and added some ornaments, and then painted it directly. That's all. Super easy. Any other questions? No?
Will one flex just so it's
inside. For example, I noticed I shaped wonder flags on my ground, and my ground was covered with some polish or lac, which has some plastic stuff inside, and so it sticks to my ground. Yes. So, not so good, but I mean, you can also try, you can try to cover the balsa wood with, really with varnish, with acrylic varnish or something like that, or a lac. Maybe it sticks better, but what I do, I mean, it's not the very first time I use wonder flags to cover some blades. For example, I used it also for this little prop here, this one. This is a little axe to cut some steaks because my knives were not sharp enough. And I mean, here you see also the rest of the steaks, which were pretty delicious. And I was too lazy to clean my steak cutter. Yeah, well, but you see, that's pretty much the thing. It's also not that heavy. And I mean, what I really did was, I also used a pretty breakable material as a base, which was Ifafoam mats, and I cut these Ifafoam mats, and I made the blade sharp with just a carpet knife, and sanded it clean with an orbital sander, or you can do this also with a Dremel. And then the thing is, I don't really like materials which are breakable. I mean, I travel a lot with my stuff, and it's just sad when I throw this in my suitcase and then wonder that, oh, I have nothing break. It's bad, you know. And so I really use wonder flags as a covering layer because it really protects the very breakable material inside. I mean, surely it gets hard and solid and also more heavy. I mean, many people ask me, hey, can I use the stuff for love, for example? But no, you will kill people with these pieces. But they are solid, and they also don't break. And I mean, you see, it was super easy, and I really dragged just the wonder flags pretty tight over the blade because it really didn't stick to the blade. But if you really drag it very, very fast over the blade, connected and the borders, then it also sticks there. And then I just added some further layers of the warbler, and here also some details and stuff, some spikes, and some more details, painting, blah blah. And then yes.
Whereabouts can you get wonder flags from anyway? Because I've been looking all over the place and I can't seem to find it.
Craft, new craft.
Yes, Costcraft, but I don't know how long it will be available anymore because there are not so many people who still buy it. I have no idea. I mean, in Germany we don't sell it, for example, anymore. But Costcraft, for example, and I mean, what I did, like I said, I have no idea how long they will still sell it. I really recommend you just maybe buy some 1 or 2 sheets for stuff like that. I also have a lot of materials at home which I really bought years ago, and every time when I just use some stuff, I just drag it out of my closet thing and just use it. And so you also don't really need to worry about where you need that material, this material, just because everything, you have everything at home, so you can do everything just instantly and don't need to wait until it gets delivered. But Costcraft. Any other question? Yeah?
When you're painting your items, how do you get the antique or weathered finish?
And I think the antique look is made by the golden color, because you mean that it looks just all
It's weathered or used?
Yeah, so I mean, I don't really use any weathering. I mean, all the prop makers go crazy about weathering and look everything over. I just use a pretty cheap color, which are not really decant. Covering? Yes, covering. Which is not really covering. And so I need to apply around 10 layers until the cover is really thick enough so everything is just golden. Yeah, and I basically am not able to do this so good, so there are still some parts which are a little bit more dark, because I mean, you see, I used black as a basic color, and then there are some parts which are a little bit more darker than the other. So I think that's the way how the lettering looks in my props. But what you just can do, I mean here, I had this weapon was for a warrior, yeah. I mean a warrior goes into the mall and just buy a new prop and stuff. And I have a pretty new prop, but it looks dumb because I mean a warrior and it's dirt and everything, yeah. And I just finished this paint job, yeah. This was the final paint job, and then I just put my fingers into acrylic paint, black and red. And then I just everything. I make everything dirty, and I mean I'm not that good in painting, and I just always wanted to hide all the things, my mistakes, and so I just added some blood and everything. I mean my husband stands close to me and says, "Girl, are you crazy? What are you doing?" You know, and I mean, and also if you have some blades, for example, if you have a blade scars because it just you kill and smash everything. And so I have here some things. Here you see some scratches. And the thing is, don't really just paint your stuff on. Really try to sculpt. I mean, you see here, I really took a Dremel and made these scars directly in the material. So it's also just it has some depth. It don't have only just paint. It really has some depth. I mean, for example, I made this piece here. It's this thing here, and it's a pretty big staff. And all the people ask me, "Oh my God, did you really took a tree in a forest and then killed it and made the stuff out of it?" No, it's all paper mache. Yes, it's really all paper mache. Yeah, and I mean, I like trees. I'm a tree player. I'm a photographer. So I like trees. And I just, here you see it's all pretty deep, it looks pretty wood-like, but it's not because of the paint, it's because really of there. Better look at it, there you see it a little bit, yes. I mean, this one, yes. Yeah, I just took a Dremel and really added this texture, not just by painting, but really with the Dremel by making all the lines directly in the paper mache. Yeah, paper mache is a material which you can sand pretty good, and you can even carve and everything. And so, if you really have a texture, also really try to add it not only to your paint job, but also really directly to your prop. And then it looks much more realistic. No, yeah, you know. Yeah, in Germany, I mean, there's my stuff, yeah. There's my stuff, there is a little bit aside. Well, in Germany we have a little open culture, yeah, and then I travel with my cosplay partner, which is also super addicted in their armor and stuff, and then so they're like, we need a big armor, and then we need an even bigger prop and everything, and especially then you know, I need to bring a stuff to the US in a suitcase, and I wanted this stuff, yes, this thing is 2 meters high, yeah, 2 meters high, and it fit into the suitcase with this costume, yeah, and I made the stuff directly for my suitcase. I mean, I had a suitcase of 82 centimeters high, and then I was there with a measurement tape, yeah, and measured everything, yeah, and then I took a special model, I chose a special model of the stuff, which was this one, because I had already in mind that I have to put this thing in my suitcase with my costume. So, and I really thought, I mean, there's a piece, and if I really adjust this in the right pieces, then I'm able to really play Tetris with my suitcase, and this was something what I had in mind at the beginning of this project. I mean, if you build something very big, then I wanted to transport it with my car, but I just have so smart, and it's 3 meters long. I think I have a problem. So really, if you want to do something very big, And if you are already limited, if you know that you're limited by transportation, really think about it before. And for example, I mean, what I did is I just took a stuff, I really measured the whole piece and really planned how long all the different pieces have to be. So at the end, I also used the screws to screw everything together. I mean, it was like, there, this one. You see, you just add some holes into the stuff, and then you add the screws, and then you are able to connect the stuff. And the stuff was, at the end, 5 separate parts. And I bring the stuff also to London MCM Expo, and also with a big costume. And it's really just planning. So when at the moment I'm working on a pretty big piece, and it's this golden piece. This I will bring to BlizzCon. Yeah, I have also 82 centimeter suitcase, and this piece I'm able to separate in 3 different pieces. I mean, here you see the head piece, and the staff, the rest of the staff are 2 different pieces. So I really measured everything and built only this piece for the suitcase. For my costumes, I make props and also armor, which are sometimes made for the suitcase, sometimes not. I mean, the weird, my steak knife was, for example, not made for the suitcase. I mean, people ask me, well, why did you bring this thing? But this piece, for example, I'm not really not able to separate, because it was never planned to get separated, because my costume is already that big that I'm even if I separate this piece, I'm not able to put this in the suitcase, and I knew this before. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
What's the best way to attach like LEDs or lights into your props if you want them to sort
I had once a workshop, and people asked me, and it was the very first time they asked me, and I thought, maybe it's a good idea to answer this question. And then I did, and people left the room. So it's really not that hard to apply LEDs. It's not really, I mean, there are just one LED and a resistor and a switch and everything. You just solder everything together. And it's not really that hard, but I mean, you still need to think about currency and the other electronic crap. I made a video tutorial on YouTube. You can also really find it out. Just Google LED circuit tutorial stuff, blah. And it's super easy to understand, but I don't really want to explain it to you. I don't want you leave me. I like you. So it's okay. Any other questions? Oh, by the way, LEDs are awesome. Yeah? So just a second. LEDs are awesome. LEDs are awesome. Yes. And I mean, I was pretty worried about LEDs for years and was super scared to adjust some LEDs, and then I finally did. And then I was with my friend and with another friend at the convention, and then we were like Christmas trees. What's super fascinating, especially if you come to the internet and then it's pretty amazing, and it's very less effort, and you just need to find the brain to start with the technique, so it's not really that hard. Any other questions? Yes?
If you have a staff that doesn't have any details on it that allow you to separate it and it looks strange, how do you do that?
One thing is, I mean, if you have a staff, I usually wrap. Yeah, I use wrapping techniques. For example, you see that? You see that? And I mean, I basically just wrap my wooden staff or something like that, and I mean, to cover then the connection piece, I just wrap more, and then you don't really see it. Or you just start a piece which are under your prop. For example, for example, this connection here. That's here. The hole for the screw is not here, it's there. Yeah. So if I screw it together, then nobody sees this piece in there. For example. Yeah. Any other question here?
The floating packet, what material do you use?
It's a swarm, not a thing. Swarm. That's right. It's not a thing. Frostmon, don't you play World of Warcraft? I'm sorry, what was your question? It was resin. It was, do you know the Kamakura technique? It was just filled resin in a Kamakura plastic thing. Yes, and then there were little strips and stuff. Yeah. Question? More. Yeah? Question? Nothing? Okay. Yeah?
I want to make a site later on. Do you have any tips and tricks for that?
A site is... Yes. Yeah, well, a pretty good, what I saw from many people, a pretty good technique is really just use IFA foam, for example, like for this piece, this black stuff. And the good thing is, I mean, the side, if you make big things, then you will always have issues with balance here. I mean, you're not able to carry your stuff the whole time like that. To walk fast, you will walk it like that. And if you have a scythe, the head is pretty heavy, yeah. And I mean, if you have a heavy prop, then it's much more comfortable to carry this prop if it's well balanced at the top and at the bottom. So, and the scythe will have a pretty big head. And the one solution is if you use a very lightweight material for the head, for example foam or stuff like that, or cardboard or styrene, and also add some additional weight to the bottom, so it's easier to transport. Or what I also suggest, look how other people build sites, what they did, yes, and I mean, cosplay is always experimenting, yeah, but I mean, always trying. Every project is something new, every project is a new challenge, but it helps a lot if you just search for other people who made something similar like you and just get some inspiration and ideas how to make it by yourself. Yeah. No. No. Yes.
What about bows and crossbows?
Yeah, at my medieval market, I also bought a crossbow and bow toy, for example.
Buy one and you could make details there.
For example, or I mean, for bows, you can, for example, I used once a technique which was yeah, for bow. You see this thing? These are just plastic tubes, which I just separated with a little saw, and then I used metal wire and then glued everything on this wire, then so it looked like that at the end. And the thing is that you have they are not really that fixed, and they are connected like gummy pieces, and so this piece is still a little bit flexible. And if you, for example, cover it with foam or with any other material, you're just still able to move it and it don't really break. So I think that's also a pretty good way to make bows, for example. Yes?
Can you show us what that's in addition to?
Ah, yes. It's like there. I mean, you see, I don't really work with pretty expensive materials. It was a pauldron I once made, and I really used only pretty cheap styrofoam globe, yeah, added some cardboard to it, yeah, added some foam to it, then some expanding foam, as you can see. Then I glued these wires on, covered everything with paper mache and stuff, blah blah blah, and yeah, well, the final piece is this. Super easy, isn't it? No, it's really not that hard. I mean, you see, it's really just expanding foam. I mean, here, I really tried to show you that it's really super easy to build and it's not that hard. The only thing is you need patience and especially passion for something. Sometimes when I build something, I'm not really satisfied, and I redo stuff again and again and again. And sometimes I build 2 or 3 different pieces for the same prop because I'm just not satisfied. And I mean, it's not like I made this in one day and it was done and everything. It took, I think, 3 weeks only for this project. And at this time, also my husband added the paint shop. It was like, there is also a stage, I mean, there is just paper mache, the training form is just covered with paper mache. They also just added stuff, and there are LEDs and things, blah. But it takes time, it really takes time. It's not just like, yeah, next week it's the MCM Expo, and slowly should start with my costume. No, this doesn't just work. I mean, for a project like this, it was at the end. I mean, this is the costume, yeah. This is the costume. Took also a lot of time. This is the stuff. Took months of work, and this was the final costume. And I mean, the pauldrons are just a very small part of the costume, and it's just you don't stop. Yeah, you just don't stop. You don't stop with a prop, you don't stop with a pauldron, you don't stop with a costume. It's everything one very big project, and in the past I made only 2, maybe 3 costumes every year because it's just so time consuming. And also I think this costume took me 600 euros or something like that. And it's not that I'm rich, yeah. My parents said, oh God, you want to make a costume here? Take all our money, yeah, spend it for all your costume. Yeah, we like it costume. No, I didn't have anything, yeah. I was a student, I didn't have any money, but it saves all my money for my costume and just spend all the stuff over the months for a project, and it's pretty big. But I think it's perfect. I really love this hobby. It's an amazing hobby, and yeah, you need also patience and passion. Yes. No. Yeah. Yes.
How long does that question take for you to
I think 4 months so far. Yeah, pretty much full time. Yeah, well, pretty much, and every time I come back from school, I work on this customer, work. Yeah. Questions? Yes.
What materials would you recommend if you wanted to build something with some transparency that you can see?
Transparency. Yeah, I used for one project. Is it possible with my iPhone? Just 1 second. No, there is some translucent Wonderflex, for example. You can go to www.wonderflex.com and ask there for translucent Wonderflex. It's not on the market yet, but it works so far. And you can also use fiberglass. You can use plexiglass. You can use plastic sheets, for example. You can also use resin, for example. You can use a lot of materials. You just need to wait a little bit, to experiment a little bit, and look if it works. For example, I also had a prop which had to be, does it work? I don't really like it. Yes. Does it work? Yeah, and I mean, this is the prop I'm just working on, and I had to make the material also translucent, and this was resin, and it took me a lot of time to find out how to make it, and especially if you work with translucent material, it can be pretty hard. You like that? Me too. This is a project I started in October 2011, and it needs to be done this Friday. My husband is just sitting at home and painting my craft here. These are not small projects, but as long as you love what you do, you will find ways to make your costume. Yes. Question? No. Yeah, well, I also talked a little bit about Pepakura. Do you guys know what this is? Yes? Okay. For the guys who don't know what it is, it's like you take a 3D model and then you just take this 3D model and separate the surface into different pieces, and then you just print these pieces out. And yeah, well, then you just glue these pieces together. I mean, you surely know this paper, figures, and stuff like that. And that was how I made these tiny blades. It was, yeah, well, translucent foil, which I just filled with resin. And that's really what I did. And that is also a pretty common way to make something three-dimensional, because you don't really need, look for something three-dimensional, because when I make my props, when I carve my props, I'm just able to rotate this thing and see, this needs a little bit more form, this needs a little bit less, and I just carve it pretty much just by eyesight, yeah. But if you have problems with something like that, you can do it with Pepakura, for example. The only thing is you just need to glue together all the scraps, and then, yeah, well, cover it with fiberglass and stuff, which is a pretty good way. And there are also a lot of tutorials for stuff like this. But I mean, at the end, you see, I decided just to use expanding foam. And yeah, it was just a much more easier way to make stuff like that. Yes. Anything else? No? Yeah.
You know when you put the expanding foam on it, how do you know where the card is?
The thing is, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't explain it. I'm super sorry. I'm sorry. That's because that's the most expensive part. It's important part. Yes. I mean, if you just cover it with expanding foam, the thing is, the reason why I use this cardboard piece is not just to get something to spray on. It's just because if you have the cardboard in and you cut, this is a cardboard piece, and then you cut with a knife into your expanding foam, you find the border, you are able to orientate, so you just cut along the border until you find something, and then you just cut away this piece, and then you are able to find the shape of this piece. I mean, for example, you see this thing, yeah, you see this thing. I also covered this with expanding foam, and there do you see the little dark lines inside? That's the cardboard inside, and I really just cut it onto the cardboard, and surely you still need to make it a little bit round and everything, but with this way you are able to find the final shape into your prop. And yeah, well, that's pretty much everything. Yes? Yeah.
Just to go back a step, you just showed us a bunch of 3D models. It's a little bit early for this, but what about 3D printing? No?
No, I mean, cosplay is not a thing about technique, because, I mean, it's boring just to take a costume, to print it out, and then you wear it. It's like putting fabric into your microwave and put it. No, I mean, 3D printing is great, which is also used in the movie industry, but at first it's too expensive. And I mean, wouldn't it be just boring if you are able to print everything out? Would you really proud of the prop you print at the end? I wouldn't be. So I'm not really a fan of 3D printing. I mean, surely you can also do great details, for example, or very tiny stuff. Or if you want to do something translucent, for example, you're not able to carve something out of plexiglass, for example. If you have some plexiglass pieces, yeah, you have a sword and you want to make runes out of it, then, for example, you are able to 3D print the runes out and then put it on your prop. But I'm not really a fan of printing a whole prop out. Yeah. Anything else? Because we are almost at the end. I mean, I still have one point I wanted to tell you, but at the end I'm pretty much done, and then you can ask whatever you want. Yeah, what questions? No. Okay. yeah, what I wanted to tell you is a pretty important thing is sealing. I mean, this was the reference for my staff, and you see the staff needs to look like it's out of wood, yeah. Yeah, well, and the thing is, there are 3 different kinds of varnish. There's a very shiny one, there's a silk shiny one, there's a matte one. And I mean, you often see this pretty great, huge props, and then they are just super shiny. If you finish your paint job, really think about how the material you choose shall look like. I mean, surely, if you didn't, you always try to create a look of a material. You always try to look your prop like it's out of metal, it's out of wood, it's out of, I don't know, foam, something future-like, you know. And I mean, if you have something out of wood, don't add a shiny finish to it, because it just looks like plastic at the end. It don't look like wood at the end. So really think about, don't think about just building the prop. Really think about what material your character would use to build this prop, yeah? And so this is a huge difference. I mean, I already saw so many great props and then they were just plastic shiny, and that's just sad, yeah? So really think about how your prop shall look like and what material this prop can be out in the reality if your character, your cosplay would be real. Yeah. Yeah, well, I hope I answered all of your questions except the LED prep. Yeah, and yeah, well, I'm still here. If you have any questions, then just ask me. Yeah.
How do you find time to build the cosplay? It's still great.
I cancelled my job last month, and before that I was a student, and I had my last lecture in October last year, and I had already finished last lectures, and my professor, first lady, they said that I just didn't come, so I had time. Yeah. Any other questions? No. Well, then, yeah.
Obviously, you've looked at the weapons in World of Warcraft when you want to make them. Have you looked at something and gone, there's no way that could physically be made? And then gone and made it anyway?
Table stuff.
There is a lot of stuff which is not really possible to look physically made. I mean, over the years I'm able to see that stuff like this just wouldn't look good in real, because, I mean, it looks good in the game, but if I build it in reality, I know already that it would look just dumb, because there are not materials, there are no really ways to make it like that, or at least I'm very limited to my tools and my materials. I don't have a special effects studio, Hollywood, or something like that. So I know that if I build it in the way I would do it, it would look dumb, and then I just don't do that. Yes. Anything else? No? Okay, well then, thank you. I hope you really enjoyed it. Thank you so much. Okay.